And we're back day 2 of digging out the rest of this crawl space. Plans for the day is right now try to finish digging out all the way across and partially under the floor over in these 3 directions here. Once I've got that complete, take a break, run to Home Depot, get a piece of 4-inch PVC pipe to tie into the French drain at the side of the house, put that in the ground, cover that up, then take the remainder of the gravel and use that to fill in that back corner that is between the house and the breezeway at the kitchen wall. From there, well, while I'm at Home Depot, I might as well go ahead and pick up the rest of these 16-foot 2x10s for the rest of the floor joists, because we'll be ready to put those in. Once I get everything dug out, need to put down the rest of the plastic under here. Get some caulking at the Home Depot, the kind to glue the plastic to the masonry work all the way around and around the pillars where I cut and left those extra flaps. And maybe start hanging floor joists, maybe pick up a few pieces of subfloor so I'm not monkeying across balancing on joists. So probably way more than I can accomplish between now and 6-7 o'clock tonight. But you know what they say, reach for the stars and land on the moon and you still made it, or some crap, I don't know, whatever. Motivational mumbo jumbo. Anyway, let's get started on this dig out. All right, got to a good stopping point on digging out the crawl space. Went to Home Depot, got 5 more floor joists, which is actually 4 more floor joists because 2 of those are going to get doubled up for the opposite side of the fireplace. I've got 30 foot of 4-inch PVC pipe to hook onto the French drain and run it across to the hillside there to dump out near a tree stump where I will not run it over with the bush hog or the lawnmower. So at the end of the time lapse, this is as far as I've gotten on the crawl space, which is right under this spot for the doubled up 2x10. Did I say 2x4s earlier? Maybe, but doubled up 2x10 here, like I did on that side. Then I can hang a 2x10 across about foot 16 inches forward, box that in so I can pour some concrete. I've got an idea. I'm actually going to keep the fireplace now. I've got a little idea of what I'm going to do here. I'm going to pull all this out. And I've got some brick that's about 100 years old, maybe a little older than that actually, from my great-grandfather's house that's up in pasture about a quarter mile from here. And what I'm going to do, or plan to do, is build the hearth of the bricks I've reclaimed from the fireplace and the foundation of his house, and then stack and mortar those bricks around here and get rid of this black tile. Then for the mantelpiece, I've got some old beams I have recovered from my great-great-grandfather's 2-story cabin that's also still standing on the farm. Well, was standing until last year when Hurricane Florence came through and finished it off. So those beams, I haven't measured them, but they're like 6x6s or 8x8s. They are huge squared off beams. And the beams, counting the rings on them, they're every part of 150, 160 years old. The cabin was built in the 1840s, according to the Chester County Historical Society, when I had one of their members come out and look at the property. So, you know, 100 and something years old when it was cut in 1840 to now 2019. They are extremely old beams, and I've not cut into one yet or finished one up, but I'm sure they're gorgeous on the inside. But I plan to build the mantelpiece out of cutting down one of those beams and then have take one of the beams and split it down the center and have it on the sides of the brick holding up the larger beam for the mantelpiece. I think that'll look pretty nice, go with the theme of the wood, hardwood floors. And I plan to go back just a solid white on the walls keep it simple. But anyway, what I'm gonna do now is unstrap the 2x10s, get my measurements, cut and make the doubled up 2x10 to hang here, and hopefully get those other 3 cut and hung behind the hearth in between there. By the day's end, I don't think I'm gonna have time to do the drain and the floor joist, so I'll probably just unload the PVC, have it stacked out in the yard that way, or put it behind the truck. I might actually put it in the living room to keep people from stealing it. But anyway, let's get to it. I'm sitting here running my mouth, wasting time. All right, got one in. Much easier to get these things lined up and all now that I have this new toy I bought yesterday, or the day before yesterday, at Lowe's. It was on special. It is a Bosch GLM50C laser level laser measure. Thing is pretty daggone awesome. I will leave a link to purchase it in the description below if you are interested. But it definitely makes spacing out these joists far easier to do. Go to each end, hit your button, take your measurement, adjust the tail end, and you're good to go. Nail it up and check your level in the middle, and we're all good. So kind of nailing the hanger down here. This side is sitting on this footer, so no need to do it there. Nail it up together down the middle, and move on to hanging the span and the 3 center joists there. Drive a couple 20 pennies in this corner and hook it to the rim joist. Go. Drive a couple more 20 pennies down the center, so these boards are nice and taut together. All right, now I'll take some 16 pennies and sporadically go up and down the length to tie that together. Disregard all the nails in that doubled up. That was playing with the new nail gun, which I should have a video up soon. I'm going to pit my new Hitachi framing nailer against the older DeWalt I had. No flywheel in this one. This one actually uses a sealed compressed gas chamber, so it works like a regular pneumatic nail gun. There's no flywheel spinning in it like the DeWalt, so as soon as you hit the button, it fires. And there's a lot less lag between nails. Pretty awesome. They had it on special at Lowe's. I think it was $100 off. Ow! Didn't lift my leg high enough. Bang my knee. Mostly because Hitachi and Metabo have joined together, and now all the tools are labeled Metabo HTP. So I think that's why they're discounting the remaining stock of Hitachi only tools. Also, this thing drives the nails a lot stronger and a lot deeper than the DeWalt does. These are 3.5 inch galvanized that I'm running through, just so you know. In the DeWalt gun, I was running 3.25 inch galvanized, but I was having trouble finding 3.5 inch because both guns will do 3.5 inch. But I ended up having to get them all on Amazon. I'll put a link for the nails also for anyone mildly curious for 30-degree paper collated galvanized nails, but found some, so I'd rather use them than 3.25. That 1/4 inch doesn't make a ton of difference, but in my head it does, so it makes me feel a little bit better. Plus, I think code-wise it's supposed to run 3.5 rather than 3.25. If you're using a framing gun rather than using regular 3.5 inch 16 penny nails. I'll just go around and knock the tips down so I don't get snagged. And there we go. That should be good enough. Just for demonstrational purposes, I'll shoot a couple in with the DeWalt, which I'm also using the same, I'm gonna break my neck in here, same 3.5 inch galvanized nails that are in the Hitachi gun right now. So just a little comparison. As you see, the DeWalt is leaving all these 3.5 inches proud. It is not driving them. Again, why I love this new Hitachi. I'll give you a better shot here. These are the 3.5 inch galvanized I just drove in with the DeWalt. As you can see, that one's really proud. That one's almost flush, and that one's up about 1/8 of an inch. Compared that to the nails I drove with the Hitachi, and it buried them. Exact same 3.5 inch nail in both guns. And you see why now. I've gone out and spent, I think it was right at $400 for the kit, but well worth it. And yes, my DeWalt gun is now for sale. So before I get rid of it, I'm gonna, like I said before, film a head-to-head between the DeWalt and the Hitachi, but I mean, it's a clear winner here. Only had to go back and I only had to go back and set one of the Hitachi nails because I didn't have it firmly pressed against the board when I fired the trigger. As long as you've got enough pressure against it on the tip when you fire the trigger, I haven't had an issue with it driving nails. It drives them hard and it drives them deep. Like I said, you know, without having the flywheel and it having that compressed gas cylinder inside, it fires almost identical to a regular pneumatic nailer. You just have the electric motor to reset that piston after each firing. So I mean, it hits just like it's a regular pneumatic nailer, and it hits hard. It's a great gun. I don't have any other Hitachi tools, but their nailers are excellent. I've got the 15 gauge finish nailer and the 18 gauge finish nailer. I wasn't a fan of the 23 gauge pin nailer they had. I bought it, I used it a couple times, and I didn't like it. It was having trouble setting nails. I had all kind of issues with it. So I actually returned it and got the new, it's the new Series 2 or second version Type 2 Makita 23 gauge pin nailer, and it's excellent. I haven't had any issues with it. I prefer it much greater than the Hitachi pin nailer, but other than that, the framing and the finish nailers from Hitachi are great. The little laser level also makes it great for cutting these joists, because trying to measure the span by myself with just a tape measure is a pain. What I was doing was taking a little finishing nail, driving it in the center where I marked my layout, hooking the end of the tape on that, pulling it across and fall. I had all kind of issues. It was a nightmare. But with this, all I gotta do is turn it on, set the butt end of it against the rim joist on either side, shoot right across, and I get my measurement right away. Awesome. And battery died on the GoPro, but we are back. Fresh battery in. Just finished cutting the plate that's going to run across here for the border of the fireplace hearth. Thinking now, I screwed up. I should have gotten one more 2x10 to cut down so I could double this up instead of putting a single. But yeah, so at least I put the single in right now, I guess. Make sure she fits in place. Like a glove, man, I love that new Bosch laser. That thing is a lifesaver. I wish I'd had it the entire time on this project, because it really makes measuring inside the stands way easier than messing with a tape measure. Alright, so now you're getting a kind of general idea. Like I said, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to double this up and make this a double plate, and then have the hearth in here, and then connect my other floor joist to this. I think if I got another piece of 2x10 cut down, that'll work. I believe it was 4'9" and 5/8. Hey, I got one more piece. It's just long enough. I hate to steal it because my miter saw is sitting on it. I have to do some maneuvering over here. And now where did I put my circular? Of course. Walk myself to death. you over here. And hammer in some nails would be nice. Let's get a fistful of 20 pennies. And where's my hammer? There it is. All right, that's good enough for now, and it should be okay to go ahead and hang the other joist off of this asterisk, hopefully. That's good level. So actually, I might just stop here. I don't want to risk hanging the 3 joists and then this giving way, and then got to deal with taking all that loose and trying to nail it back up, because it will be heavy with all those joists tied in. So I think I've come to a decent stopping point for the day. Might go mess with the PVC pipe actually. I think we'll stop here on the interior of the house, and yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll stop here on the floor, and we will move outside and try to throw that PVC in the ground. Thing I hate about PVC is I don't work with it enough to keep track of my PVC cement. So every time I get to do anything with it, I've got to buy another daggone jar of PVC cement. Anyone else have that issue? Every time you do something with PVC, you got to buy some more glue because you forget where your old glue is, or is dried out from being so long since you used it. Probably should have checked those corners for square before I nailed it in. Oh well, they're good. So let's go outside. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.